Herzlich willkommen, Leute. Lesson 13 of module. All right, lesson 13 of module 2. Lokale prepositions that are used with the dative. So we have auf, an, vor, hinten, zwischen, über, unter, and in. Their meanings are here, as you can see. Neben, an, starting from here, auf, in, neben, an, vor, hinter, zwischen, über, unter. When these prepositions show location, they are used to the dative case. They are used to the dative case. We shall learn more about the dative case in level A2, but it is introduced now. So this is very important to understand. So these prepositions can answer where something is located. Where something is located, they answer the question wo and are called local prepositions. Local prepositions. Lokale preposizioni. As you can see. The preposition an, which is here, this preposition an, and the preposition in, which I will come to later, and which means at or on. Now, an means at or on, and as the forms andem, which is used when the noun is masculine or singular. So you have to understand the gender, first of all, of German nouns. If you know the gender of German nouns, you'll be able to know when to use andem, which can become short as am, and ander, which is at or on. So andem or am, at on they used for with masculine singular nouns, and there at on used for or with feminine singular nouns. We shall come to that in the main book, in the textbook, and we shall see. An einem, this one is an am, and einem, here we can see is used also, which means on a or at a with masculine and neutral singular nouns, as you can see over here. An einem, then an einer, which can be used with meaning on a or at a with a feminine singular noun. It's very important to understand this. So these prepositions, especially the auf, as we see over here, we have auf, as you can see, auf over here, and then we have an, and then the in, on top of, inside, at or on, but especially in and an, they contract. Contraction means that andem can become am, to mean at when the noun is masculine or singular. We shall look at the examples. So these prepositions know their meanings, how they are, and remember their pronunciations. Let's read them once, first of all, and so we see how it is. Local prepositions used with the dative. Auf, in, neben, an, vor, hinter, zwischen, über, unter. So important. Now, in our second pagination here, page B, make sure you copy the notes. You want to see here that, for example, wo ist die Tasche? Wo ist die Tasse? Where is the cup? So remember we said that these local prepositions are used to show the location of a place, and they're used with the dative, which we shall explain soon enough. So we continue here, wo ist die Tasse? Where is the cup? Die Tasse. Die Tasse, and then das Haus. So we see here the cup is on top of the house. On top is auf. So die Tasse ist auf dem Haus. One thing we need to remember is that this, in the dative case, which is used to show location, der and das change to dem, dem. Ein changes to einem for masculine and neutral singular nouns. Die for feminine changes to der before feminine singular nouns. Now, look at this. The cup is on top of the house, so you need to know the gender of the name of the house, which is neutral. So you will say, die Tasse ist auf dem Haus. Und forget not that all German nouns are written with a capital letter. Vergiss nicht, dass alle deutsche Buchstaben mit einem großen Buchstaben geschrieben worden. So they are written with a capital letter. So die Tasse ist auf dem Haus. So the das here changes to become dem after this preposition shows location, instead of saying auf das Haus. So auf dem Haus, on top of the house. And then der Tisch, where is the curb? It is under, in this case, the table. So die Tasse ist unter dem Tisch. Die Tasse ist unter dem Tisch. The cup is under the table. The cup is under the table. Unter dem Tisch. So the unter, which means under, and then the der, this one changes to become dem because it is dative. Unter dem Tisch. Die Tasse ist unter dem Tisch. Very important to know that Die Tasse ist in dem Haus. Die Tasse. The cup is inside the house. So we see the cup here. This is the house. So where's the cup? Wo ist die Tasse? Wo steht die Tasse? Where's the cup? Die Tasse ist in dem Haus. In dem, which becomes im. So this one becomes im. This one. It can shorten itself. Let me just write it here. Schreibe das eigentlich hier. Im. Das kann verkürzt werden, im zu sein. It can be shortened to be im. So die Tasse ist im Haus. The cup is in the house, inside the house, inside the house, in. The das becomes dem after in, when it's showing location. Now let's look here. Wo ist der Kuli? Where is the pen? So you see a pen is called der Kuli, masculine noun. Das Handy, das Mobiltelefon, phone, das Buch, correct. So where is the pen? So we say here der Kuli is zwischen, between. So this das, it's between the phone and between the book. It will change the das to become dem, and this das to become dem. So we're going to say der Kuli ist zwischen dem Handy und dem Buch. Der Kuli ist zwischen dem Handy und dem Buch. The pen is between the what? The phone and the book. It is here, and this is it, as you can see. So we take that and we see how it changes. The das, this is zwischen. This is zwischen here. Sorry, I'm going to bring it here. Tut mir leid, ich habe das mal falsch gemacht. Done that badly. So der Kuli ist zwischen dem Handy und dem Buch. It changes the preposition zwischen, changes this das to become dem, and this one to become them. In the dative case, as we have already explained, der and das change to them. Masculine and neutral articles das. Alright, and even the ein for masculine neutral changes to einem. Very important to note those changes that we've done here. Look at this. Neben der Post steht das Auto. Next to the post office stands the car. Literally, we know that the post office is a D. So it changes, this D changes. Das ändert sich, der zu sein. So it is neben der Post steht das Auto. Neben der Post steht das Auto. Or we can say das Auto steht neben der Post. The car is standing. The car is next to the post office. So because of neben showing the location of the car, the D changes to der. Neben der Post. Das Auto steht neben der Post. If the car was situated next to a masculine singular noun, it will be neben dem. For example, so it is here, right? Neben. So let's say, for example, next to the house, it will be neben dem Haus. So the das, just like it is in neutral here, will change to become dem. Das Auto steht neben der Post. The car is next to the post office. Das Auto steht neben dem Haus. Very important to know. That is okay. Ich finde das toll. Then in the plural, D changes to den. That is in the plural. Remember, D can be for feminine singular, and D can be for plural. Changes to den. When that happens, we add an N at the end of the plural noun. If that noun has no S or N, which I'll show shortly. For example, the bunker, the benches. The bunker, the benches. So if I want to say on top of the benches, because the plural already ends with an R, I am permitted by the German grammar to add an extra N here. You can see this extra N which I've shaded here. So we have auf den Banken, on top of the benches. Auf den Banken, on top of the benches. Very okay. We call that dative plural. Let me explain it further. Ich werde das euch mehr erklären. Look at this. Here we are. Last pagination. Neben den Häusern. Neben den Häusern. Next to the houses. Because in the plural, houses is die Häuser. In the plural, this D, which is a marker for the plural, it changes to den. So it becomes neben den Häusern. So you're going to add an extra n here when the noun ends with an r, especially in the dative plural. Why dative, dear students? It's because this is a dative preposition. Why is it called dative prepositions? It's because it shows location. When it shows location, and this article is a D, becomes den. So neben den Häusern, next to the houses, next to the houses, plural. The dative plural is marked by that an N there, and is also depicted by this. And then the nominative plural. In German, you have the nominative plural and the dative plural. The dative plural usually comes after the dative case. So neben den Autos, look at this, next to the cars. We don't need to add an extra N here, right? Because of what? Because this one ends in an N, I mean S, next to the cars. The plural ends in S. Now, let me give you the forms that I have. Let's look at a preposition like auf. We have auf dem. I'm writing that down. Then I have auf der. I'm writing that down. Then auf den. Then concentrate on my hand. Concentrate on the lesson over there. Yes, meine Hand ist aber ganz schwarz. So auf dem. This one must be used when the noun is masculine, neutral, and singular. This one is used when the noun is feminine. Here, then it's used when the noun is plural. So these are the three forms, especially for these prepositions that require the dative and showing location. So on top of the. So when something is on top of a place whose name in German here is masculine. All right, we can draw a man here. Okay, and maybe a woman here like that. Then plural here. Okay, we have like that. So many, showing many like that. So let's say, for example, on top of the house. So I'm going to, because, or on top of the market. Market is marked, 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 of the marked. It can also be on top of the table. Table is a masculine singular noun, so it is auf dem Tisch. Auf dem Tisch. So you have to know the gender, dear A1 students. Make sure you follow the lessons and review it so that you understand. And auf der. Auf der. Auf der Kommode. Kommode is a German word for drawers. Chest of drawers, a feminine noun. So auf der Kommode. On top of the chest of drawers, of der Kommode. Auf der Kommode. Auf der Kommode. Auf dem Markt. Auf dem Tisch. Auf der. It can be on top of the newspaper. The German word for newspaper. Z-E-I-T-U-N-G. Zeitung. Auf der Zeitung. On top of the newspaper. Something can be on top of the newspaper. Etwas kann auf der Zeitung sein. So you can say auf der Zeitung. So it depends with the gender of this, gender of that. Now plural here, when we have plural, when something's on top of plural, more than one thing, of den. Now, on top of the houses, for example, Häusern. On top of the houses. Auf den Häusern, plural. Auf den Autos, on top of the cars, or on top of the tables, auf den Tischen, auf den Tischen, on top of the tables. So we add an extra n here. That's the dative plural. We add this n when the plural of that noun does not end in n or s. That's why you see here there's no n, but here there's an n. Here there is an n. So these are the three forms for all the for all the what? The prepositions. These ones. Auf, in, neben, an, vor, hinter, zwischen, über, unter. Auf, in, neben, an, vor, hinter, zwischen, über, unter. Auf, in, neben, an, vor, hinter, zwischen, über, unter. Let's sing together. Auf, in, neben, an, vor, hinter, zwischen, über, unter. Put these ones together, über, unter, with a u, like that. These ones are opposites together. It will be very easy to note the simplicity in that. So that's all we have of them. I want to show you the contraction when you have an, which means at or on, and them, when the noun is masculine or neutral singular, and in them, when the noun is masculine or neutral singular. This one's for neutral, and this one masculine, neutral, masculine, respectively. So and them becomes and them becomes indems become im, so that in plus them equals im, and plus them equals am. So you can always form a very primitive song to remember that. And and gell, which das aber ganz gut, wenn du das tust. You can do that. And them, and plus them, in plus them, im, and plus them, masculine, neutral, singular nouns. In plus them equals im, masculine, neutral, singular nouns. And plus them equals masculine, neutral, singular nouns. In plus them equals im, masculine, neutral, singular nouns. Notice that. So it means inside or in. So am Tisch at the table. Masculine singular noun, as we've just been singing our very lazy song, but very helpful. Am Tisch at the table. Im. It can be inside the store, inside the shop. It's a masculine noun. Der Laden, shop or a store. People buy. Im Geschäft, another word for shop. Im Geschäft. Geschäft. In the store. Like that. So in them, so they contract the contraction of and them, in them, im. Very correct. This is very wonderful. Very wonderful. So I want you to write 5 sentences of yourself, to write the locations of different things inside your home apartment where you live. Can you write the positions of the various things inside your house? Where is the television? Is the television on top of the shelf? Like in my study room where I'm doing these lessons from, they are fancier. The television is on top of the shelf. Steht, sorry, I'm writing sometimes it's a bit weird. Der Fernseher steht is to stand upright. Germans are very philosophical. So when something is on an upright position, vertically standing, it's better to use steht than simply write ist. So der Fernseher steht is on top of dem Regal. It's on top of the shelf. Der Fernseher steht auf dem Regal. Dem Regal, which is, normally we say das Regal, which is the shelf. Das Regal, the shelf. So der Fernseher steht auf dem Regal. The television is standing or is on top of the shelf. So the das has changed like that. Remember the dativity we've learned. Das to use to them after dative preposition to show location of something. The something is that something X. I mentioned that X found on top something Y, which is das. So der Fernseher steht auf dem Regal. Can you find other objects around your home? Find their meanings in the German dictionary. Find them up. Look up the words in the dictionary. Try to find out where is the spoon, where is the cup, where is this and that, and you learn. That is how we learn this language. Now I wanted to check something. Kindly, as we've done, we check. So the review. Review the lessons once again. What is, opening over here, what is, answer this question. What is a lokale preposition? What is a lokale preposition? 2. What examples are they? Welche Beispiele sind sie? What examples are they? How are they used in a sentence? How are they used in a sentence? Lokale prepositionen. What examples can you give and of in? Define them. What are they? How are they applied? How are they used in a sentence? This is all you should be able to do. That's the review, which we can just have a review of our learning. So make a review. Try without looking at the video and without referring to the notes you have written, because notes have been sent in the group. For those who's willing also to learn this, you can join a WhatsApp group where notes are sent in advance before the videos in YouTube are sent. Welcome so much. And all those who are willing to do that, they can get me on this number in WhatsApp for more lessons. For more lessons in WhatsApp. Das ist 5 und 5, 5 and 5. So, das ist keine Nummer hier, aber ganz einfach das zu machen. Ich kann auch Englisch unterrichten. So, this is nothing here, das ist null, das ist nichts, eigentlich nichts ist das. 768363585. That is the number to get me like that. You can reach me like that or call me. So try to do it. What are local prepositions? What examples are there? How are they used in a sentence? That is the second assignment. The first assignment, which we gave, this is my teaching book, is write 5 sentences about how things are positioned at your home. Like in my home, my study room where I am right now doing these lessons, we have the television standing on top of the shelf. So try to mention other things and try to find out how it is done. Okay, I can say the cups are in the kitchen. So I'm trying to write here. Let me write well. Sorry for my handwriting. I'll try to improve it, my dear YouTube subscribers. So the Tassen, the cups, sind, they are in the kitchen. The cups are in the kitchen. So because the German word for kitchen is die Küche, so therefore what we have is in there. So I use this one for the feminine. You see that? So this one, because of that. So die Tassen sind in der Küche. The cups are in the kitchen. Very important to understand that. And that is wonderful. So that marks the end of today. Thank you so much for that. Just a by the way, and let us continue learning German. Deutsch macht aber so viel Spaß. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Ciao, ciao.